Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and this is James Ramos from At the Quarter Pole, and here's my 2024 analysis of the Breeders' Cup races. I'll be covering most of the races, ladies and gentlemen. I might have to take another segment and do another video, but right now I'm going to get to the nitty gritty. I'm going to start early because I have the most energy right now for the Breeders' Cup Classic. And my analysis, and the reason I call it analysis is because we still have 2 weeks away. Horses might be, the bike pick might be withdrawn from the race in case of illness or off their feet, they're not training well, etc., etc. Anything could happen before the big day. And I will just take a quote from The Godfather when Mr. Warden was speaking to Robert Duvall. And a man like me cannot be taken underestimated. I'm telling you right now, and he has to be taken seriously for everything that I do here. So I'm going to give you the best analysis right now. I'll go over the DRF once they have all entries filled out for the big day. And I'm starting out the Breeders' Cup Classic, and my top overall pick is Forever Young. I like him in the exacta to Yushpa Tesoro and also Demisor Gaki if Demisor Gaki runs. So he's not for sure yet, but Forever Young and Yushpa Tesoro have got the green light for the Breeders' Cup Classic. Now, I'm playing the exacta box in this race. Those are the three horses I would box in the race. And also, just to let you know, if Demisor Gaki withdraws from the race, I'm going to audible to Sierra Leone. Now, the question is that you want to get as much value as you can, because if you look at the racing form, and what I have to understand from reading the racing form is Forever Young and Yushpa Tesoro and Demisor Gaki and also Sierra Leone are all known closers. Now, you want to get real good value, ladies and gentlemen, because most of your play normally goes to the front runners, the speed bias horses, the horse with the better figures being up at the front end and close to the pace. Yushpa Tesoro is a very good horse. He's not going to be even close to a pace. He'll be about 12 to 15 lengths off. So is Sierra Leone. The only horses that be semi-mid-pack would be Forever Young and Demisor Gaki. Shows horses that are capable of being up to 5 to 6 lengths. For whatever matter that means, I still handicap and I still like these horses regardless of I have to buck the bias. But I want a better value. I'll go over it, but that's what I'm taking right now. Forever Young, the early DRF entries, pre-early entries for the Breeders' Cup Day, has him marked at 5 to 1. He's going to be the third choice behind City of Troy and also Fierceness. Do I like those odds? They're fair odds. They're not good. They're not bad. They're not indifferent. I like Forever Young. He looked good in Japan Mile, winning his last prep. Yushpa Tesoro had a great prep. Came in second his last race. It looked like he's having a lot of the second ditties, and he's already an older horse. He's already 8 years old, and he's going to come, as I stated, way off the pace. So I'm looking for an up value from him. I would believe that DRF has him as I look at right now at 8 to 1. I want him to say 8 to 1 or at least higher, about 10 to 1. Is that realistic? Why not? He's the closer, and most handicappers and handicap people that do handicap always tend to favor front runners that are close to the pace of goods. They're in striking distance or right at the front where they could win the race easier than trying to come off a pace, trying to zigzag out of horses, trying to stay out of trouble, not to get boxed in, not go 8 wide, so on and so on. But that is my pick for the Breeders' Cup Classic right now for the early analysis. I'm going to go over it again once I make sure that everybody's running at each race. If there's no withdrawn horses getting sick, but that's what I like right now. So I would box Forever Young, Yushpa Tesoro, Demisor Gaki, and if the Demisor Gaki does not run, then my fourth horse would be Sierra Leone in the exacta box. So that is my early analysis of my Breeders' Cup Classic. I'm going to go look through my notes here. I got printed off from the DRF. All right, next race I'll be looking at will be the Breeders' Cup Mile. And this will be the Turf Mile. Yes, it would be the Turf Mile. And right now, the horse that my early analysis, the horse I favor right now would be Porta Fortuna. He ran really well in his last race. He's trained by Donach O'Brien, which would be Aidan O'Brien's son. He ran really well in his last race, and he won the race. He's the third choice behind Notable Speech, which would be Charlie Appleby's horse, and his father's horse would be Diego. I haven't seen either Notable Speech one or Diego. I did see Porta Fortuna run, and he ran really well. I think he's got a good shot. I don't want anything less than 5 to 1. This is the horse I like at the Breeders' Cup Mile Turf right at this moment. I know that was kind of early, but it was only just one horse, so bear with me, folks. So that's why I like at the Breeders' Cup Mile. Coming up for the Breeders' Cup Filly and Mare Sprint Championship, which is going to be running at 7/8 of a mile. And this is one horse I really do like for the value, for the form that he has, would be Sullivan Angel. I like Sullivan Angel, folks, because the last race he won was at the Princess Rooney. He came well off the pace, and he had to cut into a moderate fraction first quarter at 23-2. If you look at the replay of the Princess Rooney, he didn't have a fast pace to run, but boy, did he run him down on the last 1/8 of a mile. Very impressive race. And now, since I like Sullivan Angel because they shortened this horse from a router, he was running against horse like Idiomatic, Randomized, and Raging Sea, but they shortened him out from a route horse now to at least a 7/8, a late sprinter, 7/8 of a mile race, in which a Breeders' Cup female turf would be 7/8 of a mile. DRF early odds has him at 12-1. Hey, I'll take it all day. 12-1, I'm in for it. I mean, Joseph Saffie Jr. is bringing this horse in fresh and ready to fire after an impressive win. And maybe this is what this filly wants, is a shorter distance and running 2 turns. I mean, he looks fantastic. You want to stay at high value, of course. I'm going to have to put the bias, seems like all Breeders' Cup Day, because most of the horses I do like are coming off the pace. And I think at 12-1, that I'll take it all day. I like the value. He's going to be running against, of course, other horses in there, but that is my pick right now. Sweet Aztec is running a race. He's got a possibility. The favorite in the race is going to be the Chad Brown training Ways and Means. I wasn't impressed. He ran off the slop, controlled the pace out front, like everything goes, had his own way, and he was the horse that meant to be to win the race. He was 3-5. I don't want 3-5. Morning Line always has a 3-1. He's going to have to ship. It's going to probably, to my understanding, unless something happens weather-wise, it should be a clear day. And I just like Sullivan Angel. I won't get off my pick right now, unless, like I said, if he gets withdrawn, scratch out of the race, then will audible and I'll make a video and tell you what I do like in my selection there. But Sullivan Angel is my pick at 12-1, definitely in that race. One of my better bets in that race, ladies and gentlemen, because you're getting impeccable value. Like I said, you have to buck the bias. He's going to come up he only has one way to run, ladies and gentlemen. That's coming from off the pace and from way out of it. But at 7/8 of a mile, and there's a big duel up front, he's got a shot. And at 12-1, I'll take that shot. I'm going to my next race in just 1 second. Okay, off to the Breeders' Cup Filly and Mare Turf. And this was another easy pick for me. And the pick for me, of course, I'm a Johnny Gosden fan. I always have been since I was a young kid. I watched his career grow since he was a young man, and just an exceptional trainer. And I know everybody say, well, everybody's an exceptional trainer, Breeders' Cup Day, and jockeys and horses and so on and so on. But he's very exceptional. And you have to go back in his career. He took an apprenticeship with A.T. Doyle. Not too many people might know A.T. Doyle is an old-time trainer out in California. And he apprenticed under him, and he had apprenticed under one of the great dirt horses at that time in '83 was a horse called Bates Motel. And since then, John Gosden has gone his own way, and it's just an impeccable trainer. And the horse that I like that he's bringing in, he has 2. He has Friendly, but the horse that I like is Emily Upjohn. Emily Upjohn, she's a fabulous mare. She's got a shot. And I don't think Johnny Gosden would bring this horse if she didn't have a shot. He always has his horse ready to go, in my honest opinion. I mean, he has him to win. He doesn't run second or third. He always comes here, coming from the United Kingdom, to come and win. Now, the problem with Emily Upjohn, the early odds right now is at 9-2. Do I like 9-2? Not really. And the reason why I'll put this out for you, ladies and gentlemen, that Emily Upjohn has had not a great racing season. His form's been a little bit wonky, a little bit. The year before, Emily Upjohn back in 2022 had a better year, or I should say, let me take that back, 2023 had a better year. And she was slated to run in this race last year, but for whatever reason, John Gosden withdrew Emily Upjohn off the race. Now, she's intended to run. Now, what I'm thinking here is Emily Upjohn has wonky form. Why is John Gosden bring this mare into this race? What else? To win. But I want better odds. I'm not looking at 9-2. I mean, if I had the stomach, I might use them in the triples or the pick 4s. I'm not big on the win bet. I like a little bit higher odds. I stated before 2 years ago by being greedy. Sometimes I am a little bit greedy, but that is the God honest truth. I like better value some days, especially with a horse that has wonky form when he's running against horses that right now are in peak form or nearing peak form. And Emily John, if I want to win bet, I want to least about, all right, let me be fair, 8-1. Like I said, I'm not going to shy away in using this horse in pick threes and pick fours. And as the horse has his form coming in, I'm sure John Gosden has been training this horse into impeccable fashion. Most money is going to go on friendly, a horse in form. But my pick for the Breeders' Cup Filly and Mare Turf right now is Emily Upjohn. I'm not as high as Emily Upjohn as I am with Solon Angel in the previous race I mentioned, but I do like this horse in the Breeders' Cup Filly and Mare Turf. Next race coming, ladies and gentlemen. The Breeders' Cup Classic. Take that back. Sorry. The Breeders' Club Distaff. The ladies, the champion ladies. And right now, Idiomatic, early DRF odds is 8-5. And definitely you could have it. I don't want 8-5 in Idiomatic. I think she had it all her own way in the Spinster. The race before that, she ran her eyeballs out. I'm just thinking this horse is going to flop. I really think she's going to bounce. And I'm looking at her speed figure. I'll let you look at her speed buyer figures. 102, a 96, a 97. She hasn't repeated 102. And what even fears me more that she's been running against top company the last 5 races. I just that race against Randomized where she just went, guts out for over a mile. That were Raging Sea picked them up to the last 1/60th of a mile. That just creeps me out. And the Spinster, she had it all her own way. She ran against absolutely nobody. It was almost like a work, like a free paycheck. She won on the front end. I saw the race in replay, and it was quite boring, uninterested. It was a great race. If you like Idiomatic, where she's coming in a little bit fresh, I think she's going to bounce. And honestly, Torpedo Anna, she's a great filly. I feel the same way about Torpedo Anna. I didn't like the Cotillion. I think she needed a race. I would have trained. I'm not Kenneth McPeak. I'm not the trainer, but if I had any training skills, that was my filly. I would have gave her a little bit of rest before coming into Breeders' Cup distaff, and considering she ran the Coaching Club Oaks to Travers. I mean, these were just gut-wrenching races. Coaching Club Oaks, she broke awkward. She didn't come out really fast. She had to rush up. She won, but it takes a lot out of any horse. Filly, mare, older horse, younger horse, it doesn't matter. Then the Travers, where she almost beat Fearless in a great a great addition to the Travers Stakes. God bless her. She ran a good race, and it continued. Honestly, she looked a little bit haggard down the lane. She couldn't put away that 7 horse on the inside, and she kind of just like if you look at Brian Hernandez, she just showed her to the whip, and I'm like, oh man, it seems the horse a little bit tired. So let me get to the horse I do like, and Chad Brown has two, a Colt and Raging Sea, and guess what? I like both of them. They're trained by the same owner, and guess what? They're owned by the same stable. So that's a catch-22 right there. Same trainer, same owner. And they always do something kind of weird with these horses where one of them is going to hit the piece of the pie. First or second, I want the win bet. Raging Sea with Idiomatic and Torpedo Anna being a race, 6-1 is really too small. Again, call me greedy. A Colt, 20-1. Ran second at Boxcars at Aqueduct. I like a Colt to spring a mile upset. I wouldn't go too heavy on the win bet. The place bet would look great, especially if you second favorite, first favorite coming second. A Colt is a horse I'm looking at right now. He might be that sneaky horse, that surprise in this race where he gets overlooked, and he will get overlooked anyway because of Raging Sea, Idiomatic, Torpedo Anna, and that last race in Aqueduct wasn't bad. I'm not much into the prep race come out in New York, especially at Aqueduct. I wish the races were being running at Belmont, but they're redeveloping that track and making it brand new. So hope to see that next year up and running. But a Colt is my number one long shot pick. I would not underestimate this horse. If you don't trust me, you go over to DRF and look at his racing past performance. I like a Colt for 20-1. Oh, heck yeah, I like a Colt. And the Raging Sea at 6-1. Pick 3, pick 4. I'm not big on the win bet. Definitely not at 6-1. Considering now that the DRF at the early price is an Idiomatic at 8-5 and Torpedo Anna at 2-1. And I was thinking maybe 10-1 for Raging Sea. And people say, really? Oh yeah, really. So right off the bat, a colt is my long shot play. Wouldn't play him in the show bag because if it does come in double shot show bag, it's not going to pay nothing. Good in the place bag, good in the win bag, good also in if they have rolling doubles. Just I wouldn't excuse me, wouldn't underestimate this horse. On to the next race. The Breeders' Cup Dirt Mile. Da 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 da, here we go. And right off the bat, again, there's a ton of speed in this race. I'll name you the speed horses that are going to be running this race. National Treasure, Speedball. Let me tell you, Skippy Longstocking, Speedball, but could rate. Saudi Crown supposed to be back, Speedball. The other horse, Mustafa, Speedball. Caesar Grace, Speedball. And you know where I'm coming from, ladies and gentlemen? Yep, a ton of speed. So what do? Again, back to the closer. And the horse that pops out that's going to be played severely and will be an underlay, unfortunately, but I'm still going to use them. Domestic Product. Domestic Product was a horse I keyed in my third and fourth in my supers in this year's Kentucky Derby horse that made sense to me when I saw his race way back in Tampa Bay. A lot of people didn't like that race because they thought that wasn't a productive race. I saw more into that race. He won the Dwyer. He won the Woody Stevens. And my God, the Woody Stevens was better than the Dwyer, in my personal opinion. The only drawback is this horse just a New York horse coming to the West Coast and flopping, or is he a horse that is just a one-turn closer? It doesn't matter to me. I mean, there's a ton of speed, and with about 5 or 6 horses gunning for the lead, I want somebody that's going to be off the pace. Domestic Products is the horse that's going to be the wise guy's pick. Fortunately, I have to fall in with the wise guys, and that'll be my pick. You won't see 6-1, ladies and gentlemen. You might get 3-1. Trained by Chad Brown. I don't know the rider who they might get for this horse. I'm hoping it's Irad Ortiz. He should get the ride because he rides for a lot. Chad Brown, he rides for everybody, but I'm hoping he gets Irad Ortiz. A horse I went throughout that I mentioned on my last video that has a shot in the Superfecta and the try might be a little bit over it, but he has the right profile to run big because he's going to be coming out to play Stronghold. Look at that race at the Pennsylvania Derby when he almost nailed Caesar Gray. Remember, this was her first race back. And the thing about Stronghold, guess what? California horse. Watch out. So pick right now, Domestic Product with Chad Brown. Using the superfectas and trifecta, Stronghold has a really good place. He's going to be up to 40-1. He might get bet down. And trifecta, Stronghold has a really good place. He's going to be up to 40-1. He might get bet down. Handicapping people looking at the racing firm saying, "Oh man, closer, speed. All right, got a ton of speed. Got 1 closer, 2 closers. Stronghold makes a lot of sense in the trifecta, superfectas. But my overall pick, Domestic Product." On to the next race. The Breeders' Cup Turf Sprint. And this race always has me pulling my hair. Year in, year out, it kind of baffles me. I always think I got something solid, and the horses seem like they never seem to perform. And I'm hoping to change that luck for me this year. And the horse I like was going to be the course specialist again. I played him last year, was at Anita. Now it's Down Mar. The course specialist is Motorist. Phil D, the model horse, that's very consistent, 6-1. Problem is, he can't fall any. They're going to only run 5/8 of a mile, so he has to really pick up his legs and go. He ran a couple of races where he ran eyeballs out and came way down outside and won convincingly. And this is a horse I like because he's a turf specialist. He likes Down Mar. That is my angle to this horse. Of course, there's other horses that are well better than him. Cogburn is probably the best thing that money could buy so far in the turf race. I've heard this before. Something about spinners, though, that they run really well all year, and it comes to the big day, and they just don't show up. I have 2 that I have to go to the Wayback Machine. Horse called Groovy. Groovy would have a stellar year round, year out. Twice defeated as chalk back at San Antonio in '86, and lost again as chalk at Hollywood Park in '87. And horses that maintain sprint speed and are very good all year round. For some reason, come Breeders' Cup Day, it's a totally different ballgame. You have to break. You got to be in the right foot on the right time. You bobble, you hesitate, you're done, because now Cogburn has to face the best in the United States and in the world. He's not running against a couple of decent contenders, and he's a basic speed. He's going to have to run all the way through to beat any of these horses. And I don't never like chalk. Another horse that always seems to have a great year and come Breeders' Cup Sprint Day doesn't show up was a horse called Jackie's Word. Yeah, burned me twice. Shame on me. So I'm not doing it. So the horse, the course specialist motorist is the horse I like. Big Invasion is a solid horse. He could run. He doesn't mind shipping. He's an East Coast horse. Runs well out the West Coast. He showed a decent effort last year at the Breeders' Cup turf. Might use him exact. This is a race. I'm not going to, since I've had some bad luck in it myself, handicapping, and I'm not going to go heavy in this race in my exotics or even straight wagers. But I do like motorists. I might just bullet him and just say, however it falls, it falls. So hopefully it's not coupled to any of the big other races that I like something in. Then I might have to spread out the ticket, but motorist is the horse I like right at this moment for my early analysis. Going through my notes, just bear with me. All right, so I'm jumping into Friday's card, the Breeders' Cup Juvenile Turf. Horse I like from his form, who shows a lot of gut and determination, Ferocious, trained by Gustavo Delgado, 6-1, great odds. Lost to Chance McPatrick in the last race. What's wrong with Chance McPatrick? He's going to come off the clouds. Ferociousness didn't have the best ride. He kind of had to kick it in. I'm not sure if the horse needs to get his head straight. Maybe they're going to have to fit him with maybe with a pair of blinkers to keep him focused. But he came back on Chance McPatrick in his last race. And he shows he's the most kindest and most dependable horse of all these horses. I like Chance McPatrick is 3-1. That tells you how wide open this race right off the bat is. Chancer's been running, guts out, ran the last two races. He's had a 92 speed figure buyer, 88 and 81, which is fantastic. Why is this horse only 3-1? Yeah, I just think that always the juvenile day, the rising stars of the tomorrow, always hard races pick, but they pay very, very well. So Ferociousness is my early analysis pick. I like his form. I just like that he's consistent. Now, if he runs bad, he just runs bad, and you might not like the trap, but as consistency and a horse that's going to give you an honest effort since he's been on the dirt and training and being a horse is Ferocious. So Ferocious is my pick for the Breeders' Cup Juvenile Contender. Let's see what else I have. I'm jumping now to the Breeders' Cup Juvenile Filly Turf. And the Jubilee Filly Turf is obvious. I don't like to be obvious, but the horse that I like is Aidan O'Brien's Lake Victoria. She looks splendid. I'm not sure how much they paid for this horse. They're looking for they say they're not sure for the Breeders' Cup Turf. I would do it, but they're also looking at the 1,000 guinea race. So my pick right now is Lake Victoria. If, like I stated, if he's withdrawn, something happens, then I have to audible, then I will. I'll make a video, and I promise you that I'll give you my pick. But right now, my first analysis, my first pick for the Breeders' Cup Juvenile Turf Contender would be Lake Victoria. That's Aidan O'Brien's horse. On to the next race. I think it's my last one that I have for right now, ladies and gentlemen. I think I'm missing a couple of races. I still have to do my handicapping on that, and I do apologize. I got held up in time last week. I'm a little late on my video for the Breeders' Cup, and half of it was done intentionally just because I know there's a lot of things that could happen before now in Breeders' Cup. My next pick would be the Breeders' Cup Juvenile Filly. My pick will be Tom Amos's Quick Kick. I like Quick Kick because she's done well in her races. She had a 77, 79 by her, 65. She kind of bounced from the 79 to 65. Her top pick was 79 out of 3, so she bounced a little bit. But she did beat Scottish Lassie, who's going to be the favorite in the Breeders' Cup Juvenile Filly Turf in her mating. Now, Scottish Lassie will be the chalk. She's the number 1 pick at 7-2, or I'd like to take that second pick. Immersive, Brad Cox's horse, will be the first pick. But she went well second in the Alcibiades. I always like the Alcibiades because it's a very good prep for the Breeders' Cup Juvenile. I think it just has a good solid dirt course. I like Keeneland. It kind of reminds me of the Dalmore course a little bit. The way it's kind of a little bit deep and you have a little bit of moisture under that track. So right off the bat, quick kick would be my pick, trained by Thomas Amos, 8-1, good odds. Might go up. I'm hoping so. Maybe 10 to 12-1. You're not going to make me sad with those odds going up. But quick kick, Breeders' Cup Juvenile filly. And I'm sorry if I lost all my win there. I put a pretty good video. It's right now going 25 minutes. And any other things I have for you right now, I'll do another video as soon as I can. Also, if there's anything that pops up with scratches, anything news that I could get, I'll get to you as fast as I can. And I'll promise you that. And this is James Ramos from At the Quarter Pole, where winning and history run neck and neck. Have a great afternoon, folks.